Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack those big ideas, give you a bit of a shortcut to being well informed. And today we're getting into a really captivating personal story. It's about ambition, unexpected turns, and really redefining what impact means. We're looking at an insightful interview with someone who navigated this really winding path. Started out wanting to be a journalist, but ended up as a product manager in tech. It's just packed with lessons, isn't it, about finding your calling, maybe even finding yourself?
Oh, definitely. What's really striking is how her idea of changing the world just completely evolves. And, how she learns to separate those external expectations from her own, inner strengths. It makes you think, how do we measure our own impact? And are we really aligning what we do with what makes us, well, thrive?
That contrast is so clear. So our mission today is basically to pull out those key moments, those nuggets of wisdom for you, our listener, because maybe you're wrestling with similar stuff. Career, purpose, self-worth, all that, right? Let's dig in. Okay, so the story kicks off in Beijing. It's 2008. She's facing the Gaokao, that huge college entrance exam in China, super intense. And she initially had these dreams, animation, film.
Yeah, creative stuff.
But she gets that classic advice, maybe you've heard it, oh, everyone likes movies, gently steered away.
Right. Happens all the time. That well-meaning advice that kind of pushes you off a path you're just starting to explore.
Yeah,
It definitely sets up this search for something more substantial, maybe.
exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. She finds this book by Zhu Ziwan, Journalism's Nostalgia, and bam, this idea just clicks. Journalism, providing free information, that could actually change the world.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. Her mission becomes totally clear. I'm going to be a journalist.
That's a powerful moment. Shows how, one piece of content, one idea can just ignite this huge sense of purpose. It wasn't just picking a subject in school. It was choosing an ideal, a whole way of making a difference.
But getting there, not easy. She enrolls in this 1+3 program. 1 year studying in China, then 3 years for her degree in the U.S. She gets to the U.S., and she remembers just being totally lost. Couldn't even understand the bus driver at the airport.
Oh, man, the language barrier, that must have been rough.
Huge barrier. She talks about spending hours, just countless hours, recording lectures, listening back again and again, struggling with homework. She actually said she worked harder then than she ever did for the Gaokao, calling her mom, crying sometimes because reading just 3 paragraphs of an assignment could take an hour, looking up every other word.
That's incredible determination. But what's really key here is why. She said the Gaokao effort felt external, like society's plan, the family's plan. But in the U.S., that effort came from inside. It was her dream of journalism, plus this deep responsibility to her mom. Her mom worked nonstop running a restaurant, never traveled, just to fund her education. That internal drive tied to her dream and her family's sacrifice. That's different.
Yeah, that contrast really hits you. External pressure versus this, deep personal fire. So she keeps pushing despite all this, but she also reflects on something she calls the good student trap. Even in the U.S. system, which is supposed to be freer, right? She still found herself chasing the A's, following what she thought were the rules for success.
It really shows how deep those mindsets can run, doesn't it? That need to follow the path, get the grades, and connect that to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
She was trying to be the standard, excellent journalism student. So she poured energy into improving her English writing, which she saw as her weakness, her shortboard. But at the same time, in her new media classes, video production, she was actually excelling. Her American classmates, professors, they were praising her visual work.
Yeah, she saw that later. She said, I was probably always comparing my shortboard to others' longboards. That's such a good way to put it. She admitted she just didn't have the courage back then to really lean into those visual strengths. She thought success had to look like being a TV reporter in a big city. That was the only picture she had.
Sticking to the script, even when her talents were pointing elsewhere. It's a classic trap.
Okay, so part 2. After all that struggle, guess what? She actually does it. She graduates, becomes a local TV station reporter, achieves the initial dream.
Wow. So she made it.
Yep. And she was thrilled at first doing these deep documentaries, feeling like she was really on the forefront of the world, learning about all these different people, different stories.
That must have felt amazing. Validation for all the hard work.
Totally. It was fulfilling. She felt close to that original ideal of making an impact.
And experiencing the job fully is so important before you start questioning it, right? You need that real-world feel.
Exactly. Because then came the question. She started asking herself deep down, okay, but did the news I put out yesterday actually change the world?
The disconnect.
Yeah. A gap started opening up between that big ideal she learned in school and the sort of day-to-day reality of the job. The impact felt smaller, maybe more fleeting.
And that's where her definition starts to shift, doesn't it? It
Right.
raises that question about impact itself.
Mm.
Does it have to be this huge, immediate, world-altering thing? Or can it be something else, more subtle,
Yeah.
systemic, enabling others? Her thinking really starts to broaden out.
And something else shifted too, her view of business. Remember how she initially kind of looked down on just making money?
Right, the merchant idea.
She started seeing her mom's restaurant differently. Not just a business, but like a community hub, providing safe food, a place for people to gather, even giving jobs to young people, helping them get started.
That's a huge shift, seeing business as potentially creating community value, not just profit.
That realization, plus seeing traditional media struggling. I mean, her boss was asking her, the youngest person there, how new media worked. It pushed her.
Yeah, the world was changing around her too. The rise of the internet, the decline of old models. So she's adapting to these external shifts,
Yeah.
but still holding on to that core value of wanting to make a difference. The how was changing. She started seeing that tech and business could be tools for impact too.
Which led her to do a master's degree in media innovation. Makes sense, right?
Perfect next step.
And eventually that pivot into tech becomes her product manager.
Oh.
Silicon Valley, even working on AR products, augmented reality for a big company. Quite a leap.
From local news reporter to AR product manager. That's a journey.
She describes product management now as really rewarding. It's cross-functional, she says. Learning about business, design, tech. It's like her way of continuing to grow and contribute. Building things from scratch, understanding users, solving problems. Different kind of impact, but still impact.
And it's interesting how she manages it all. She talks about working long hours, like 60 plus a week, structured work during the day, but then making time in the evenings for deeper thinking, connecting dots, synthesizing stuff, maybe just sitting with a notebook, finding that space for reflection.
Yeah, and balancing that intensity with nature on the weekends. Hiking, seeing wildlife. Finding peace even in, boring Silicon Valley, as she kind of jokes.
It paints a picture of someone really trying to integrate intense work with personal well-being, not just chasing the next thing, but building a sustainable way to contribute.
So wrapping your head around all this, it's just a powerful story about how that drive to change the world can look so different at different stages of life, and how fulfillment isn't just one thing. Okay, part 3. Looking back, she shared this amazing piece of wisdom about all those big decisions, journalist, reporter, product manager. She said, yeah, in hindsight, it all looks logical, like it flowed smoothly. She used the term chenilling, like it was meant to be.
Ah, the benefit of hindsight makes everything look neat.
Exactly. But she stressed that in the moment, every single one of those decisions was filled with struggle, hesitation, doubt.
Which is so relatable, isn't it? That feeling of uncertainty when you're at a crossroads.
Totally. But she offers this really comforting thought. She says, basically, you, 10 or 20 years from now, you'll be way better at accepting your past choices than you are today.
That's good. It suggests that every step, even the ones that felt wrong or hard at the time, they all add up. They contribute to your unique journey, your unique value. You just can't always see how right then.
Right. And this leads to maybe her biggest takeaway, the thing she'd tell her younger self. She said, don't always focus on fixing your weaknesses and stop evaluating yourself just by what others or schools or companies expect.
That really cuts against the grain of a lot of advice we get, doesn't it?
It does. She connects it back to the Gaokao. That system teaches you to maximize your score by fixing weak spots because the top score is fixed, it's capped. But in the real world, she argues, the possibilities are infinite. There's no score cap. So in that world, only by maximizing your strengths can you see what others have not. Playing to your strengths unlocks potential.
That is such a profound shift in thinking. From damage control, fixing weaknesses, to discovery and innovation leveraging strengths. Focusing only on the short board keeps you paddling in shallow water maybe, but leaning into your long board, your unique advantages. That's how you catch the big waves, see things differently, create something new.
Wow. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Our deep dive today, it's taken us through this incredible journey. Shifting dreams, real struggles, and this powerful rethinking of success and impact. From that young student in Beijing wanting to change the world with news, to a tech leader in Silicon Valley building products, it just shows the path to finding your purpose is almost never a straight line.
Not at all.
And that core lesson, I think, is about self-reflection. Really knowing yourself and having the guts to lean into what makes you uniquely strong instead of always comparing yourself to some external measuring stick. Find your longboard and learn how to ride it.
Absolutely. That's the heart of it. So as you, our listener, reflect on this deep dive, maybe think about this. What are your shortboards? The things you might be pouring energy into fixing, maybe just out of habit or because someone else said you should. And maybe more importantly, what are your longboards? Those unique strengths, those things you're naturally good at that you might be neglecting. What could happen if you really leaned into those? Go explore that.